YouTube. How are we doing today? Today we're going to talk about Blade Show prep and what is Blade Show, what my plans are, and hey, all that kind of stuff, knife stuff. So, anyways, glad for you guys to join me. Water. Cheers. Um, so I was debating on whether or not I was going to go to Blade Show this year or not. Um, Blade Show, for those that don't know, it's an international knife show. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, and people come from all around the world to sell knives and see knives. You've got suppliers, you got vendors, you got all sorts of knife makers. You got the ABS, which is the American Bladesmith Society. You got the Knife Makers Guild, and then you got just random custom makers. You got big names like Buck Knives, Kershaw Knives, everybody who makes knives. Not everybody, but all the names, big people are there. Blade Show is probably the biggest knife show in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Blade Show used to always be in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's changed over the years, and now there's actually Blade Show West and Blade Show, I don't know what they call it, Texas. So they have a Blade Show now in Texas. They have a Blade Show, I'm not sure where the Blade Show West is, somewhere on the West Coast. But the original Blade Show, the International Blade Show, is in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's June, what is it, 6th, 7th, and 8th, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have only been to Blade Show where I had a table 1 year. And it was kind of it was years ago. And my mentor, W.C. Davis, had gotten sick and could not go to the show. And I told him, because they don't refund your fees. And it's not cheap necessarily to go and have a table. So I told him, I said, hey, if they'll let you, I'd like to, pay for your table, and I'd like to go sit at your table and sell some knives. So he had to get okay to do that, because the way it used to work, and it may still be this way, I don't know, but you got your tables based on seniority. So the people that had been there the longest, their tables were right up front as you come in the door. And the people who had been there the longest kind of had the best seats in the house. So as tables would drop off, people would make their way forward. And since he had been making knives for, I don't even know how many years, over 40 years, I believe, he was on the front row. So it was a pretty good deal to be able to go to the Blade Show and sit on the front row and sell knives. And then on top of that, like I said, there's the ABS, which is mainly forged knives. It's the American Bladesmith Society, and to go through there's junior smiths, there's master smiths, and I think the ABS is divided up into ranks like junior smiths, master smiths. It may not be like this anymore. I think it probably is, but so anyways, basically, you don't get a good table right off the bat going to the Blade Show. Not that there's a bad table at Blade Show, because if people are there, they're typically walking most of the show, but it's a big deal. People, long lines waiting to get in, and people typically have the tables that they want to see, and they straight there, because it's just fun. It's really fun. It's neat to see. I've gone to the Blade Show many years, but mainly I go there to buy material and to just network and to talk to people. Like I said, I've only sold knives at the Blade Show 1 year. And the big reason for that is I don't have knives just sitting around waiting to be bought. Um, other, I've had a big enough demand for the knives that I have that I don't have knives just sitting around trying to sell them. It used to be to sell knives, you had to be part of the guild or part of the ABS. You had to, work years and years to build a reputation, build clientele. And with the internet, a lot of that changed. Um, there's good and bad things to that because you end up with people selling stuff and maybe people buy stuff, but a lot of times they're not necessarily well informed in what they're buying. So they're buying maybe a knife from somebody who's making it in their backyard who really doesn't know what they're doing. Um, when I first started selling knives, every maker, I think, looks back at their early work, if they're honest with themselves, and think, man, I wish I would have been, I wish I would have done a little bit better. But that's all part of the process. It's all part of the journey of growing and learning. And yeah, so that's what the Blade Show is. I wasn't sure if I was going to go. A buddy of mine, Kyle Daly, he has a table there, and he wanted me to go and possibly help him. Um, I was kind of like, if I wanted to go have a table, I'd go have my own table. But no. Anyways, I'm going to go, and I'm going to be at his table a little bit, and then I'm going to be walking around networking, buying material, and just enjoying the show. There's a few people there this year that I'm looking forward to talking to. And that's the thing. I mean, everybody's there. Everybody, if there's another knife maker you're watching on YouTube, he's there. Walter Soros. I don't know if, I don't remember all the people I've met over the years. I've met Ken Onion, everybody, Alex Steele, everybody's there. And so they're just there walking around, and you can talk to them. Now, obviously, some of these more popular, well-known people might be harder to get a hold of or talk to, but they're all there. And it's a long enough event that there's a chance that you get to see these people and talk to them. And so it's good. It's a good place to network. And yeah. So I wasn't going to go. Kyle reached out. He's like, hey, I'd like you to come help me. And there's a couple other people there that I wanted to meet this year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go. So I've got work that I need to be getting done. That's a never-ending story. I've been working more on these limited edition knives. They're driving me crazy. So I'm going to go, and I'll be there Friday, maybe part of Saturday and Sunday. So if you're going to go, I'd love to see you there. Reach out, and I'll do my best to connect with you. But it'll be a good time. I might try to do I'll shoot some video and see what I can do while I'm there. But so that's kind of the lowdown on the Blade Show. Looking forward to going. Looking forward to seeing friends and hanging out and talking knives. Part of the there's all different sorts of etiquette, with shows like this. There are people who go to the Blade Show and don't have a table and are selling stuff, and that's frowned upon. I won't be selling stuff. I'm just there to get to meet people. If you want to buy stuff, you can still get it online. If you want to buy something and pick it up there, meet me somewhere, not the Blade Show, then that would work out too. But you know, there's no, if you don't have a table, you're not supposed to be really selling knives at the Blade Show. So that's kind of how it is. And I think that's good because the people there that are buying their tables, you know, they're paying to be there. They're paying for the cost of having the show itself. And there's a lot of cost that goes into making something like that happen. It's incredible if you've never been there. I think so. They have classes, they have like some cutting competitions. They have, it used to be, I believe it used to all be in one room. Now they've expanded it. So, like, it's just huge. There's different sections of the show now. And I don't even know how many vendors are there, but it's just crazy. So Kyle will be at table. Shoot, I was going to remember it. It's either 33B. No, it's 3BB. I think it's table 3BB. So if you do go, stop and say hi to Kyle Daly. Great guy, makes nice knives. He'll be there. I may be there at his table, or I may be out walking around, meeting vendors and stuff like that. I know he's got a bunch of knives that he's finishing up for the Blade Show. Got some really nice chef's knives and different things. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to go, trying to get some knives done before I go for the website, and trying just to get things in order before I leave town. So that's what I've been up to. Is there any comments here? But next week, I will probably show you if I don't plan on buying too much stuff, but inevitably there will probably be some handle material I can't say no to. And I'll probably try to pick up some nice pieces while I'm there, and I will bring them next week to show you. So I've got to stop buying material because I've got enough material for quite some time. But you know, the crazy thing about it is I do believe there's a decline in good material. So, you know, over the years, as things get harvested, it's kind of a sad deal because, for instance, I know a guy who processes firewood, and he has processed a ton of firewood. And I asked him, I was like, are you planting back? He will timber on it. No, how much you harvest. Like, no, and that the value of the timber. And I'm not sure that he has any intention of replacing the timber that he's cutting. And I'm not a tree hugger, but at the same time, too, I believe that you have some sort of obligation to leave things nicer than you find them. And if you're going to take resources from the land, I believe that you should be replenishing those resources as well. Just being a good steward of what you have, of what, you know, the way you're going to leave the world for your children or your grandchildren or just even a stranger, right? So, unfortunately, things are harder to get. You know, I really love some nice mother of pearl. Ivory is beautiful. I know that, you know, you can't get ivory nowadays, really. I mean, you can get some, but it's just these beautiful materials that are great to work with. It's harder and harder to find good pieces. So I stockpile when I can. Like, I remember buying an entire box, like large flat rate box of ironwood for less than what I would pay today for one really nice piece of ironwood. So and that's just been in the last 15 years that I've been making knives. the popularity of something goes up and it's harder to get a hold of and the price goes up. So I don't believe any of these resources are going to get any cheaper. I like to stockpile while I can. And, you know, it's kind of sad to think different knife makers over their life, they accumulate a shop full of just crazy stuff. And then a lot of times when they're gone, the people that don't know, they just don't know what something's worth. And I've got pieces of wood that are, they don't look like a whole lot, but they're worth a lot of money. And it's sad to think like that happens, that, you know, maybe they even end up in the trash because people just don't know the value of certain things. And, you know, a lot of times, this isn't a great example, but a lot of times a little block might not look real impressive, but yet it might have great value. A good example is I know a personal story of somebody who had a choice of a diamond, or I believe it was a emerald or a ruby, and they went with the very large diamond, only to find out that it was the least valuable of the three. So a lot of things have values that may not look like it is all that impressive. So yeah, it's just interesting how different things are valued. So I like to get a hold of valuable stuff when I can and hold on to it. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, if not, I'm probably going to hop off here. I'm going to go take care of some more stuff before I leave. Appreciate you guys dropping in. This has been Patrick Rohrman with MT Knives. Have a good night.